Morning. It's Happy Wednesday, Happy Hump Day with Elisa James, holistic voice and presentation coach. Now today, as usual on Wednesdays, is Q&A Wednesdays, and we are covering 3 questions from my channel today. You will see that I'm going live into Facebook and also going live into YouTube right now, and these 3 questions are super important. One is about sounding more mature when you speak, especially if you are an adult and you don't want to sound like a child. The second one is when your voice is too harsh, people will think you're actually being rude. These are the issues that people are facing. And number 3, Kristen is dealing with a lot of pain. So we're going to be speaking about that from a voice coach perspective and get you guys ready to speak live on stage, on camera, or on podcast. Now, what I do as a voice coach is help people in a myriad of ways, but here are the main 2 ways that I help people, and this is why people come to me on my channel in droves looking for help. And I'm so happy to be able to do that on Wednesdays and Fridays live for free for the people who are struggling. Number 1, I help people change the aesthetic quality of their voice. And that means the way that they sound is holding them back in life. So can you imagine if you speak like that, like a little child, it would really, nobody would pay attention to you, especially if you're 40. I've actually had a woman coming to me, actually a few people coming to me sounding like a child or a teenager because of the way that they sounded with their voice. Now, this may or may not be a pathological problem, in other words, a real voice issue. It could be a psychological issue, which is affecting the mechanics of voice. Either way, I help people through these things. So one is the aesthetic quality voice, in other words, the way that we sound. The second thing is the way that we construct sentences. When we construct sentences in a very unmindful, immature way, it's going to make us sound young or rambly. So I help people on those 2 levels. Now, of course, as a performer and an entertainer for more than 35 years, retired, what I do now is I help people understand how they can embody their own voice and become the best version of themselves, be their best authentic version of themselves, so they can actually get on camera and start promoting their business. So many people are afraid of public speaking and afraid of being on camera. That's what I help people with as well. So you can see there's a lot of reasons to turn up on Wednesdays and Fridays to get this live training. So let's dive right in. You will see this and you can comment live on my channel. It's called The Voice of Confidence TV in YouTube. All you have to do is go to YouTube, jump over and type in The Voice of Confidence TV and you'll see that there. We just hit 7,000 subscribers, so celebrate good times, come on. So it's really great, doing really, really well. Please comment on that channel. I look at the comments, I answer them myself, and I jot them down every single week to make sure that I can answer at least 3 of those comments live on my show. Now, let's jump straight in. If you're watching this, I'm sure that, whoops, I got to turn off my phone. Thank you for reminding me. Today, Amy Lollipop has put on my channel this week that she sounds like a child when she speaks and she needs help. Now, I looked at how old she was and I took that into consideration. So we have to go there first. There are 2 people on my channel who are complaining about this even this week. It's happened a lot, but this week twice. One of them is only 13, but I'll cover that in a second. The second one is 18. But as I said earlier, I've also had somebody over 40 who complained that they sounded like a child. Now, there's no reason that physiologically you should sound like a child if you're over the age of 40. Goodness me, my computer won't stop giving me updates. So here's the thing. If you're sounding like a child, again, there's 2 things at play here. One is you're not closing your vocal folds efficiently for speech production. When you're making speech production, to give you a very quick overview of the physiology of that, as your airflow blows up the trachea and blows your vocal folds into a wave, a mucosal wave, If you're doing that well and correctly for speech, it will sound clear, strong, and projected at all times. Therefore, you can sound strong at any age, strong and confident. It wouldn't matter whether you are 13 or Amy, whether you are 18, it really doesn't matter as long as you are fully in production of your sound. So here are the reasons why you may not be in full production of thick vocal fold closure. And please write that down. In science, it's called M1. Modal voice, it's the way that we speak. It's the way that we shout. It's the way that we express. It's the way that we call out to somebody across the road, hey, in that big shouty voice. A great example of singing in that voice is people like Christine Aguilera and Celine Dion, Pink, Alicia Keys. There's a lot of pop stars that sing in that really strong projected way, including Lady Gaga, right? A lot. But the people who don't do that well do it like this instead. They don't close their vocal folds efficiently. So when you don't do that, you're going to sound young or insecure or like a child or something, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to learn how to ground the voice to get you a bigger sound. How's that sound? Really simple. Now, I'm sitting on a chair. So what you're going to do is actually lift, pretend that you're going to pull yourself off the chair, and then do this. Pull yourself, like I'm lifting myself and pretending that I'm trying to lift myself off the chair. Impossible, of course, because I have to take the chair with me, and I'm grounding myself on the ground at the same time. Ready? Open your throat. Open your throat. Open your throat. Open your throat. Do you see how strong that is when you ground your body? When you ground your body, your vocal folds close automatically and create back pressure. That's the magic of having that beautiful voice. So that's the aesthetic quality of how to close your vocal folds in M1 to give you a stronger, more confident, more mature sound. Anyone can do that, children and adults alike. If you listen to the musical Annie, for instance, Sarah Jessica Parker, I think she was the very first Annie on Broadway, which is super exciting. She was about 12. And they sing with that very strong Broadway sort of tomorrow, that really big, loud, sort of belty, brassy sound. Anyone can do that. And children do it naturally unless they're shut down and they're really shy because somebody is shutting them down at home. If you're being shut down at home, you're going to hold your tongue and you're going to speak very softly. This is what happens. And it happens to children as young as, 4, 5, 6. The problem is this. Get out of the way, fly. The problem is this. When we have that in our lives, when we're shut down and shut down and shut down and shut down, what do we learn? To hold our tongue and not speak. This is the problem. And when people start to speak, they start to speak like that, with very inefficient vocal fold closure and a high pitch, and they try not to disturb anybody or get into trouble or get attention because, guess what? If somebody notices them, they might be shut down again. So this is a protective mechanism. It's absolutely normal and it's okay because we have the choice after the age of 12, 13, 14 to make better decisions. We start to come into our own. We start to challenge and question the things that we've grown up with. We're our own person. We're allowed to develop our own personality in our own time. So please be strong and confident with your vocal sound. It will change your life. I guarantee it. It will change your life. Now, the second part of the equation, and then I'm going to move on to a different question, is this. When you speak like a teenager with lots of vocal fry and noise, and then you sound really inefficient with your vocal fry, nobody's going to pay attention to you if you speak like that. And I've heard adults speak like that, especially women under the age of 30, with that noise in the sound. It makes you sound completely unprofessional, incompetent, underconfident, sick, depressed, anxious, the list goes on. You don't want to sound like a teenager. And I help people fix their voices around this every time. And you know why? because when they get to about between 26 and 32, this is a very, very common area for me to get clients, and they desperately need help. They've been in business or in a job, say, for at least 5, 6, 7, maybe even more years in their job. They're 26, 28, and they still speak like this, and nobody's listening to them, and then they can't move up the corporate ladder. And they wonder why. It's because you're speaking like a teenager who's been wounded. You're speaking like a victim. We don't want to speak like a victim because nobody will put you up into a corporate position of power, authority, and leadership ever if you don't sound like a leader. So I reverse engineer things. I teach people how to reverse engineer their voice so they step into a voice of confidence with mechanics. They don't have to think about it so much or worry about their self-perpetuating fear. When you step into that vocal confidence using mechanics, the confidence actually catches up. It's quite amazing. So I don't teach you confidence by talking to you or doing talk therapy or psychology. Yes, I use psychology, but I teach them mechanics first. The mechanics will change the way that you sound. When you change the way that you sound, people start to listen to you, which is crazy good, right? Because then suddenly you can make an impact in the world. You can go up the corporate ladder. You can actually get ahead in your business. You can start making sales. Everything will start to change when you change the way that you speak. And I don't mean become a different person so you sound like someone else when you speak. I don't want to sound like somebody else. I want to sound like me. And when people say to me, but if I change the sound of my voice, I'm not going to be me. Nonsense. If you go to the gym and build more muscles, are you not going to be you? If you dye your hair a different color, are you not going to be you? No. If you improve the way that you think and then you speak, are you not going to be you? That's ridiculous. We're talking about self-improvement. That's all Oh my goodness, we're back again. That was a bit of a drama. Looks like the whole of my internet connection just dropped out to nothing. And I had no internet whatsoever. Now it's suddenly back on 4G. It's really weird. So my sincere apologies for that. If you're still watching, you're still here, thank you so much for your patience. I really appreciate it. So that's the end of Amy's one. We were talking about Amy sounding like a child. A, it's because she's not closing her vocal folds properly. And remember, I showed you how to ground your sound. And B, you might be constructing sentences like a teenager. You've got to be very careful not to do that. Yes, you are a teenager, Amy, and it's okay. You don't have to sound like an adult at 18. You really don't. Please hear me out here. Just improve the quality and the sound of your voice, the strength of your voice, and be a teenager. Allow yourself to be 18. It's okay. You will learn and grow as you go. Now, if you're still having trouble at 25, give me a call. I'll help you out in training programs. But for now, 18, this is enough. Strong, confident voice. Go and grab any Broadway show like Annie or Legally Blonde or, pop Broadway album and sing along really loud to that. Get your voice strong so you can build up strength in the vocal process. That's what you need to do, okay? So that covers Amy's question as she was first. Second, and these are people on my YouTube channel, guys, just in case you're tuning in live. I was rudely interrupted by Telstra. Thank you very much. Spent 2 hours on the phone yesterday with tech help. But anyway, second is Naz. He says, my voice is so harsh. Sorry about the typo. I'm a brilliant speller, as you can see. So harsh that people think I'm rude. This is what's going on. When people speak harshly, it's usually because they're forcing their vocal process too much. Now, there's a couple of reasons for this. Number one is I've heard other people like, for instance, Grant Cardone, brilliant marketer, brilliant sales guy. I've spoken to him about voice training actually myself. And people who have a very strong A-type personality, great for sales, great for public speaking, but sometimes they work too hard. And I've had people in my studio, not in my studio, I've had people that I've heard their voices because of their ego. They want to be heard all the time. That is not great voice production, and that's going to come across as very aggressive. Now, I don't think that this is Sharnez's problem here, because he wouldn't be asking for help if he had a massive ego. This is why I don't get these people in my studio. They don't think they have a problem. Anyway, so the people who do have a problem, or the ones that want help, are the ones that really truly are just using their voice the incorrect way. So Sharnez, here's what you're going to do. You're going to open your throat and you're going to do a yawn all the way down like this. And you're going to keep doing that until you lose the tension and the grip inside your throat muscles, which are giving you a harsh sound. When I do this with people who have a lot of tension and very high, they set a very high bar for themselves in life. A photo just fell off the wall. They set a very high bar for themselves in life. And when they do that, they try too hard. And when you try too hard, you can sound aggressive, right? So we want to get rid of that aggression in the voice. If you sound like this with a vowel, listen, you're going to sound like a strangled cat. You don't want to do that. You want to open your throat into a yawn. Until there's only openness and airflow that comes through, no strangulation sounds. You've got to be super careful of that. Open the throat and let the tension go. Sharnez, that's the most important thing that you can do. Now, next important thing that you can do is record yourself and listen back to it and really analyze what other people are hearing. If they're saying that your voice is harsh, there's got to be a reason for that. They're perceiving that you're rude for a reason, and you may not be meaning to be rude. This is something you've picked up, guaranteed, from your father or your mother or someone in your circle that speaks in a very harsh, maybe domineering and critical manner. When you're around people like that, you end up sounding the same even though you didn't mean to. So here's the way that you can change things as well. Your pitch is super important. Think about when you're mad, right? When you're angry, it's like, how dare you do that? You know, when we go on a rant or a rave to somebody because we're having a big argument, then when we're in that pitch and that aggression, you'll notice that it's fast, high, and the same pitch. It's that's why people sound angry. It's like this rant, having a hot flush. Time to take my clothes off because I'm hot. So that's when people in a rant, their voice stays on that same high pitch, and that is perceived as being a little bit unsafe for the people who are listening. So here's what you're going to do, Shanaz, okay? You're going to use that high pitch if that's what you want, but then you're going to take it down. So for instance, when you're changing your pitch, you have the possibility of changing a pitch anytime that you want, like literally anytime. I can go up as high as I want into that shouty sort of tone. I need to get your attention at the back of the room. Or I can go back down into a very serious, very quiet tone. And if I'm speaking very intimately to somebody in a coffee shop and I don't want anyone to be heard, then I'm going to use a low pitch and more airflow. And that way that calms down the person in front of me and make sure that I bring them into my fold. See how this feels different? It just feels like we're having a coffee and we're having a chat, and it's a very different type of scenario. Remember, people get affected by the vibration of our voice. People get affected by our vibration. The vibration that's coming out of our mouth and our bodies affects the cells in other people's bodies. It just does, right? This is why music can be so healing or so abrasive. This is why voices can be so healing or so abrasive. It's up to you how you use your vocal instrument. And if you're using it in an ineffective way, it's going to affect your life on every level. So be aware that you have complete control over the sound of your voice and the structure of your sentences. You do. Okay. So Shanaz, get to it. Post below underneath your comment in YouTube and let me know that you saw this video today, because hopefully it will help you move forward. All right. Now, I will be setting up, just as a little aside, I'll be setting up a new link inside my website very shortly, where anybody who's watching this video right now on YouTube, any of my subscribers, I have 7,000 subscribers over there, anyone can leave a voice message for me and I will analyze your voice live on air. Now, if you would like to remain incognito, just leave me your first name and your email address. That's all you're required to do to get your voice analysis done. Then I listen to these voice analysis during the week, and when I find something that I know that's going to help a lot of people, I will put that live on air and then analyze that for you live. It's going to help so many people. Now, I'm going to do this with famous people as well as, my regular fans and people who watch my channel, so I can help more people and understand how we can improve the sounds of our voices. Because again, when you improve the sound of your voice, your life will change. Believe me, it happens. Number 3, let's move on to the last one. I'm fogging up my glasses because of my hot flush. So number 3 is Kristen. And Kristen has a few issues going on, and this is really important to fix. She says she's having a hard time putting the right energy and tempo. Now, to give you a little backstory, Kristen is on my YouTube channel, and she's just a new subscriber of mine. She's starting a business in life insurance, I think she said. Thank you, Microsoft. And she's having trouble getting on camera and then sounding interesting. The reason is this: she's having a hard time putting the energy and tempo because she's slow and her voice is flat. I'll talk about that in a moment, so let's hold that over here. I also have chronic pain, and I've had a tough upbringing in my early years. She was shot down every time she spoke out. Now, this is a very, very common problem, and we're going to fix it today. Number 1, she's having trouble putting the right energy and tempo, and her voice is flat. Let's look at that. The reason her voice is flat is usually because she's been traumatized by being shut down. Let me explain a little bit about trauma for a second. You can have one big trauma, tsunami, people die, all that horrible stuff that goes on. Luckily not in Australia so much, but in other countries, massive trauma. Bam, in one hit. But here's the thing, people don't understand that little things that happen to us all throughout life can create micro traumas which build up over time and become bigger than Ben-Hur. This is what I deal with as a holistic voice and presentation coach every single day. And here's what the voice does when you've been traumatized. Hi, how are you going? My name is Elisa James. Yeah, I'm really good. And I had a really good day today. The voice will be completely arrested from being seen and heard in an engaging and full way. We actually see a flat line that's sort of like a zombie. A zombie is a really great way to explain it. If you imagine a zombie or a robot speaking, it's very flat and it's very monotone. It's devoid of all that musical inflection that we have available to us. When we have been traumatized, that is the first sign that someone's been traumatized, is the way that they're speaking so flat and lacking in energy. Your adrenals, Kristen, are shot. You need to get to the health food store and make sure that you can get adrenal support. We've got to back up our adrenals, make sure that our body is getting healthy and strong. Our adrenal system can recover from all the adrenaline that you've pumped out from being shut down. When we get into trouble over and over and over again for speaking up, our adrenal system is going overtime because we're stressed out to the max. When your adrenal system is empty, you will end up going flatline and walking around in life like a zombie. Been there, done that, written the book, wrote the t-shirt. Believe me, I know what this is like. So you've got to fix your adrenal system, Kristen, and you've got to start getting that energy back in your life. So the first thing is go to the health food store and get some support to get your adrenal system back up. Then you need to exercise every single day. No excuses. Stick to it. Be very, very committed and dedicated to your health journey holistically. Mind, body, spirit. After you exercise, fast walking, jogging, riding a bike, I don't care what it is, cardiovascular exercise. Here's the thing. When your body is moving, your mind is still. This is the truth. Think about it. When you're jogging, you're enjoying the process that your body is going through and you feel good afterwards. That's the perfect time, Kristen, to then sit down and meditate and calm your mind and your body back down. Your adrenal system and your whole body and your mind will actually be back into full flourishing authenticity in a very short time. Then you can start to speak with more energy because you'll feel better about yourself. Now, you could use the old adage, fake it till you make it, but I don't agree with that because it's just bullshit. You know, when you're faking it, yes, we can get through alive like that and being on camera. It won't make us feel good. But here's the interesting thing about faking it till you make it. It does work only because of this. If you get on camera and you go, la, 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 and you have fun and you become yourself and you just talk, you'll notice that after you get into the swing of it in a few minutes, you'll actually feel okay. You actually feel more energized. You'll actually feel better about yourself. But you've got to stick with it. Feel the uncomfortable feelings and stick with it and work through it. You will get there. Kristen, you will absolutely get there. Now, the last piece is that Kristen's dealing with is chronic pain and the upbringing that she has. Oh, well, that was the shutdown part. Let's deal with the pain for a second. Kristen, I'm so much in your corner, sweetheart, because I have chronic pain and I've had it all my life. And it's really, really bad at the moment. For about 18 months, I had a very, very bad injury about 18 months ago. And I've been under constant care since then and constant pain relief and, you know, all this sort of stuff. The only thing that helps is very gentle exercise, lots of heat packs. I've got a heat pack on my butt at the moment as we speak. I live with my heat pack at the moment. I've got muscle rubs and things like that. I do stretching, I do physio, I do chiropractic, acupuncture, massage, whatever I have to do to keep going. I understand what it's like to deal with chronic pain. Kristen, when I was 14 and 15, 2 years in a row, it's like, what's wrong with me? 2 years in a row, I'll get hit by a car. One was running across the road, my fault. I didn't look, smashed my leg, crushed my back, blah, blah. Won't go into the details, but massive, massive injuries. And I had to give up my dance and acrobatic career because of that. A year later, I was minding my own business, walking on the side of the road, and a car hits me from behind up, and same sort of injuries. Just a nightmare, right? So all of my life from 14, 15, I've dealt with chronic pain. I know what it's like. I've been this close to ending it all because I couldn't cope. Year after year after year, there were times when it was really bad and times when it wasn't so bad. So I just have to focus on the times that are not so bad. And you know what? I've had to adjust my life around that. It's okay. There's lots of people worse off than we are. I guarantee you there are. And there's people who are better off. We're always somewhere in the middle. Always. Okay? So figure out your why. Why are you living? Why are you put on this planet? Why are you here? How many lives do you want to serve? How many people do you want to help? What do you want to leave behind? Your why will keep you going. Keep going. Find your why and keep going. It is super important. Okay? Kristen, I hope that really helped you today. I'm going to pop over and have a look at the comments just quickly. Internet dropped out. I know. There was, I wrote that. There was nothing I could do with that. I was kicked out for a long time. I like the voice analysis new feature. Yeah, great, LP. I'm really happy to do that too. My beautiful assistant, I suggested that one. And I've had it for a long time. I've just never used it. So let's get on to, I've been through all three. All three. So the first one was, remember, Amy Lollipop, if you're tuning in late. I sound like a child when I speak. So in the very first section of this video before the internet drop, that's where I answered Amy's question about how to sound more mature when you speak. Shanae, I think I did after the internet dropout and I came back on. So that should be the second video. I'm not quite sure how this will show up now in YouTube. And the third question was around Kristen, around, the trauma that I just answered and also being shut down in life. So if you're seeing this right now in the Voice of Confidence TV, I am absolutely live. And you'll see that I do this live every Wednesday and every Friday. I'm answering your questions on Wednesday, and I have a guest interview on Friday. Now, I've got two exciting things for you. Are you ready? I want you to write them down and make sure you pop them in the comments below. Number one is I have a brand new webinar called Present Like a Pro and Smash Your Public Speaking Fears. It's an hour and a half free training. And in that webinar, you'll get to know me a lot more, and I'll be teaching a lot around presentation skills. So I will pop that in the comments below so you can go over to the Eventbrite and grab yourself a free ticket. There are 2 webinars next week, so make sure you don't miss out. Now, the next thing is, what else? Oh, I wanted to tell you that the new analysis tool, if you want to be part of this show, I'm going to be coaching people live on this show. I did that 2 weeks ago with Slava, and she got massive value out of this. Now, I know that this is scary for people to be on camera. Guess what? You'll get over it. So pop in the box down underneath, pick me, and put your hand up, and you will be coached live on air. This is for new students who've never worked with me and can't afford to invest in training right now, but they need some help. So I don't mind whether you're on my YouTube channel, The Voice of Confidence TV, or whether you are inside my Facebook group, Find Your Voice of Aspiring Speakers Club. Just write down in the comments, pick me. And my assistant, Ice, will message you and set you up to get you on camera with me on Wednesdays, okay? Now, I'm in my mother's painting studio again, as you can see, so it's a bit messy in here, but that's where I am at the moment, visiting my family in Queensland. So, great. So glad you kept going, and I get to meet you later on in your life. Yes, LP, thank you so much. Yes, I've had to learn how to be a strong person. Yeah, I've absolutely had to learn how to be a strong person because it's been very hard. It's been a hard road, but I keep going, and I will keep going hopefully for a lot longer. So thank you, Ice, for putting that down. You'll see that in the link below. All you need to do is click on the link, and that'll take you to the Eventbrite page, and then you can join us live at the webinar next week. It's going to be super fun. I give. As you can see, I'm very, very active on all of my channels, and it's going to be a really great webinar. So lots and lots and lots of great information. I look forward to seeing you there, and I'll also see you on Friday this week for Experts Interview. Thank you so much. Love the background. It's so messy, but isn't it this way in StreamYard? Look, isn't that great? I think that painting, this one here. My mum's an artist. Isn't it beautiful? My mum's an artist. She's got the most amazing paintings. I wish I could show you everything. Actually, I will show you this one. Look at this one. This is really cool too. This is one of my favorite ones. Check this out. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I love, love, love this one. She's so clever. She's just so talented. I can't paint to save my life, mind you. But this is beautiful. I think this is Macintosh Island, where I used to live in Main Beach in Queensland. And this one I absolutely love too. That's one of my favorite ones in Tuscany, that is. Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, she's very, very talented. Yeah, I know. They're really amazing. All right, so I'm here and you'll see me in this space for Experts Interview on Friday as well. I'll add a few more paintings so we can actually show them off. My mum will be super proud. Okay, all right, thank you for joining me, guys. Mwah. Love you guys lots and lots and lots. Thank you very much. I'm here to support my family, LP, and I was also giving a masterclass yesterday to Toastmasters, which is one of my favorite things to do. So have a wonderful day, guys. I will see you on Friday. See you then. Thank you. Bye.